Born to Ride is sponsored in part by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL, representing riders since 1988. Offices throughout Florida, 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Thanks for tuning in to Born to Ride TV, the longest-running biker TV show in the world. This week, it's Choppertown, including feature interviews with overall winner James Fish Alcorn from Alleyway Customs. Did I say Chill Bunnies? And Drew Seamer from Freak Show Fab. Oh, and we get a walkthrough from these guys.
Hey, man. Hey, we found it. It's Choppertown.
We found Choppertown, man.
Choppertown, man.
All this and more here on Born to Ride.
Hey, man. Am I driving okay?
I think we're parked, man.
Hey, man. I think we're in Choppertown.
Choppertown.
Oh, Choppertown.
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 picture books, and you're watching Born to Ride. Yeehaw!
Hey, man. Hey, we found it. It's Choppertown.
We found Choppertown, man.
Choppertown, man.
Welcome to Choppertown!
My name's James Fish Alcorn. My company name's Alleyway Customs, and we're out of Jacksonville, Florida. Alleyway does full custom bike builds, paintwork, fabrication, hand-tooled leather, upholstery. We do everything. The ones we brought to this show is a 1982 FXS Chopper. We call that one the root beer bike. We also have a 1947 Knucklehead, pretty standard bobber. Then we have our 1942 WLA, the Folsom Flathead, and we had the bike I just completed last year for the People's Champion Born Free, my 51 Panhead Francine. That bike was designed and built for the Born Free show in California, and the reason I feel like that's relevant is because that's a very specific period of years that those bikes are for. You know, manual brakes, very of the era, and that bike was something that would have been built, in my opinion, it's my twist of the really early choppers, late 50s, early 60s, before you had extended front ends and really cut frames up and stuff like that. But the premise of that bike was a paint style that I believe Arlen Ness kind of founded, and that was kind of a two-tone, one side of the bike being one color, the other side of the bike being another color. I just did it really kind of subtle. So one side of the bike's tangerine candy, and the other side of the bike's root beer candy. And then it kind of went from there, built a lot of the stuff out of stainless, and just kept, as we continued into that competition, we were forced to keep getting crazier and crazier. So we did all the sand casting, the headlights, the taillights, the foot pegs, the kicker pedal, you know, all that stuff, and just tried to find some balance and making it all flow together, you know. Originally the bike was going to be a lot more mellow bobber, and I was going to do a dual headlight setup, but once it went to a full custom chopper, shiny chrome, everything, I wanted to condense the dual headlight idea to combine it where both headlights fit within the springs of the Springer. So you can't see, they don't stick out, they don't look like a big, you know, praying mantis head or anything. They're stuck in the front end. We do so many different styles of bikes, but my passion is with those older bikes. I really like the bobber style. I don't really, I like a very rideable motorcycle, where it will handle and be nimble, perform well, where you're not really, I mean, I have had longer bikes, but I prefer not to really wrestle them too much if you don't have to, you know, but it's also important for them to look cool too, you know, so usually no front brake, you know, usually really streamlined, stripped down, you know, nothing too crazy, but very, very rideable, you know. I like the Indian Larry, Paul Cox style, Cole Foster, the Salinas Boys stuff, where the bikes look like they really flow and everything works together, you know. Man, it's super cool. You guys got a great building and a great batch of people. You know, there's bikes that go from all different spectrums inside. So it's a lot to see, and it's a very presentable event. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much for having us, and check us out at Alleyway Customs. Thank
you. Hey, we're the Chill Bunnies, and you're watching Born to Ride.
We're the Chill Bunnies from North Carolina. I'm Danielle.
I'm Olivia. I'm Stephanie.
And yeah, we're just a bunch of chicks that are all over the country now that just like the same stuff, whether it's vans, bikes, cool cars, and we just hang out and have a good time and sell some pretty dope shirts. Okay, well, the Chill Bunnies is just, it's about for all the girls that love the same stuff. It's not a club, it's not any of that, it's just a lifestyle group that enjoys bikes, vans, cars.
Whether if you ride in the back with your man, or just like it, anybody can kind of just come and hang out.
Yeah, we don't hate on anyone. We just want everyone to have a good time and enjoy what we're doing here. Yeah, it's mind-blowing to me. I mean, I'm glad they like it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, if we can keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, it's amazing how the internet works. Like, we have some people from Mississippi that came here with us, and like we just met them from the Chill Bunnies page.
Yeah,
that's amazing that you can connect with people that are into the same stuff as you. So
yeah, that's the neatest thing is like now we have people from Idaho, Utah, Texas. We are meeting girls all over that love the same stuff, that want to be a part of it and support each other and create a sisterhood that just love the same common interests. Jason started the Chill Billies, and it was just a group of friends that created a group that liked to ride, and they enjoyed the same thing, the same culture, and it just kind of grew from there. And he just wants to create a group of friends that enjoy the same thing and grow and expand just like we are. Our community, well, we love it because it's just so big, it's all over, and that's the cool thing. It's beautiful out there, it's gorgeous, the best places to ride. We have the Tail of the Dragon, we have Born Free, well, Freeborn.
We have the mountains and the beach all in one state.
And you can do it like in one day.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. You can wake up at the beach and then end up in the mountains.
It's great for riding anything, vans, choppers, whatever.
Yours?
Yeah, she has an El Camino, which is pretty. You have a pretty sick van. Yeah, I have a 95 van. I'm not sure what we can say on here, but her El Camino is pretty bitchin'.
You can get in touch with us through Instagram at Chill Billies or Chill Bunnies, and you can also reach us on Facebook at Chill Bunnies as well.
Hi, I'm attorney Rebecca Witt from Rubenstein Law, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 11, truck accidents require special attention. Sometimes drivers are put in a difficult position and accidents happen. Driving without sleep can be as dangerous as drunk driving. Evidence needs to be preserved for inspection without delay. Some trucking companies hide insurance, but we know how to find it.
For all these rules and more, go to rubensteinlaw.com.
If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #BornToRideMotorcycleMedia, your #1 motorcycle resource.
Find us on Facebook, Born to Ride TV and magazine, the ultimate multimedia biker experience.
Hey, man. Am I driving okay?
I think we're parked, man.
Hey, man. I think we're in Choppertown.
Choppertown.
Oh, Choppertown. Choppertown.
Choppertown.
My name is Drew Seamer. I have Freak Show Fabrication down in Fort Myers, Florida. It's a custom shop, make parts, art, build motorcycles, full fabrication, some paint, hot rods, stuff like that. So a lot of the guys, they have a lot of my parts on, like you said. Shift knobs, grips. I've done a lot of fabrication like the sissy bars, seats, bits and bots and odds and ends. Some of them have my paint jobs on them. Just a little bit of everything, really. A lot of my inspiration comes from a lot of the older magazines. You know, we have a huge collection of them, so we're always looking for inspiration from a lot of the greats, a lot of the older guys, you know, from the 70s and the 60s. And then just some of it's just kind of comes out of my head, really. I mean, just try to be different, try to do something that you haven't seen before. Some kooky stuff. Keep it fun. Oh, Choppertown's been a great show so far. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of good people have shown up. A lot of great motorcycles, great vendors. It's like a weird little family, little dysfunctional family that we all have here, and it's just a lot of fun. You get to see your friends, meet new friends, you know, make new friends, meet new people, see some really cool bikes that you haven't seen before, and it's been a good time. It's a good vibe going on. No flex zone. It's been a lot of fun. You know, there's all walks of life kind of coming in there. There's been a lot of people from older people to young people to kids, to, you know, families are in there checking it out and stuff, and it's just, it's cool. It's cool, and everyone is appreciating the old school stuff, kind of the way it used to be, and seeing a lot of the bikes and the art and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Like, you know, you hear all the stories from a lot of these guys and some of the old timers. You know, oh, I had this bike back in the day, or oh, that reminds me of this chopper I had, and it's pretty cool. It's neat to see a lot of these guys. You see their faces light up when they see something that you've done, and they can relate to it, and you hear a bunch of fun old stories and stuff. It's pretty cool. It makes you feel good, you know. It's important for people like me and some of my other my peers, I guess you could say, and you know, people I work with, that to reach out to the younger crowd, because I mean, let's just face it, you know, that's who's going to carry this on for us, and the people that are going to be our customers, and people are going to keep riding motorcycles and keeping it alive, especially with custom choppers and stuff like that. The old dudes just aren't riding them anymore, or you know, it's time to kind of move on to another generation, I guess. So it is really cool when you see younger people that are interested in this to kind of like keep it going. Just to have something from Mondo, like, I mean, that's he's a legend really in the industry. Paco, I mean, we all use their parts, all of us do. And then obviously a little bit of money is nice, and it was cool for them to donate some stuff and put it towards it. No, absolutely, get you a little excited, you know, you could have an opportunity to win, you know, and stuff like that. So that's cool, you know. A lot of us base our stuff off of something that they've done, or something that they did back in the day, or inspiration from it, or, you know, something to take from what they did. So it is cool to potentially get a little bit of something from them. I mean, he's the godfather of choppers. I mean, that's what they call him, you know. And I mean, heck, even my Triumph in there has an old Denver Springer on it from back in the 70s. So I mean, it's stuffed around. I mean, the parts they used to make was great. I mean, those are the parts that you seek out as like a chopper guy if you're looking for stuff. So like, to have that little bit of like pay it forward to like us, is kind of carrying on his torch, because I mean, he probably feels the same way after he's gone. They're tired and doesn't want to do it anymore. There's got to be someone else that has to keep it going, or we're going to lose this type of stuff, and it's just going to kind of fade to the wayside. So to have that, it feels good. It's a very, very cool feeling to have someone that's such a prevalent person in the industry to want to support us little guys out here. Oh, me and Eric actually have a fairly good relationship. He comes down to my shop and shoots a lot. I've always got new bikes for him. We've known each other for a while. He's a good guy, man, and he's really trying to make cool things happen, to get people together and to make shows like this happen, or bring these motorcycles to the public, or really get them out there. He's a great guy. I like him. You know, he's got a lot of passion. And, he does. I'm really happy to have him as part of Born to Ride. Yeah, you're lucky to have him. Yeah. He's a hard worker, and he's really trying to do some stuff. But you can get a hold of me probably through, the easiest thing is my Instagram, which is Freak Show Fab. And yeah, that's probably the easiest way to get through.
Well, Choppertown Live is about not only motorcycles, it's about the lifestyle, it's about the culture, it's choppers, it's hot rods, it's custom vans, skateboards, surfboards. It's all about that lifestyle from the 70s, early 80s. And like I said earlier, we've got builders that are world renowned. We got some guys that are building stuff in their garage. It was a builder's invitational. We've been working on this for about 4 months. We got together with Zach from Choppertown movie. Everybody knows the movies. They're kind of a cult phenomenon. And we're working together with him to put together a live show to kind of bring that to another level. And we've managed to talk Mondo into building us a custom one-off Springer, 16 over front end. That's going to be going to the Builder's Choice Award, which is handed out tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We're going to have all the builders vote on their favorite build. And the Builder's Choice Award is called the Bill Dodge Award of Excellence. Bill Dodge can't be working with us because of his recent accident, but what I'll be doing is I'll be taking pictures of his bikes for the top 4, and he's going to say the final say who the Builder's Choice Award is. Now, the Builder's Choice Award winner, they're going to get $1,000 courtesy of FTW. We're also going to get the Springer front end, and Paco, the legendary Paco, is giving us a frame, hardtail frame. So whoever that lucky winner is tomorrow at 4 o'clock, they're gonna walk home with a handful of awesome stuff, and they're already halfway there on their next build. Well, I think a lot of these young builders are, you know, whether they admit it or not, they're influenced by these old legendary guys. You know, we've got the old guys and we've got the young guys, but they're all influenced by the Mondos and the Pacos and stuff. So if we can get those names behind what we're doing and add some authenticity, it's not that what we're doing is fake, but if they're on board with us, they're on board with us. So, it's really worked out well for us. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go behind all these bikes. And I think it's important for me, with the talent that I have as a photographer, to make sure we get these bikes on the proverbial film. So the least I can do is get one really nice or two really nice studio shots of their bikes to give back to them as a thank you. Well, it's like a surfer looking for the next wave. I don't really know what I'm looking for until I see it. I'm looking for something that is unique, that catches my eye, that I know it excites me as a photographer and a motorcycle enthusiast. I think if it excites me, it's going to excite other people as well. So it could be that $100,000 machine built by Indian Larry and his team, or it could be that garage-built motorcycle that, the guy's been sacrificing life with his family and work to get that thing done. It's not always about the exterior look. There's a lot of story behind these motorcycles as well. So if I can get great pictures of these bikes to help push that story along, then I've done my job. Man, I think they were gracious enough to give us this building. We were going to start out in a tent in the corner of the property here at Thunder by the Bay. Once they realized what we were doing, they said, we think you're going to need more room. Go ahead and use this building. And then I went in to a meeting a couple weeks ago, and they said, now how much building are you going to need? And I said, we're going to need all of it. And I don't think they kind of grasped what we're going to do here. They had no idea that, what we're doing is kind of unique to the area anyway. Nobody else was doing it. So we threw them the floor plan, we put it together, and everybody seems very excited about it. The non-chopper people, the bagger people, the old school, the young guys, everybody's digging what we're doing here, and we're hoping to really expand this and maybe take this on the road in the future. This is only the first step, and I've already, you learn from your mistakes. It's not really mistakes, but we can always learn to do what we can do better. So we've already got ideas for the next one, so if everybody likes what we're doing now, wait till the next one. Now, man, I'm just proud to be born riding. I'm proud to be able to represent these guys. I understand the talent and the artistry it takes to build these motorcycles. So as a photographer, my job is to get those in pictures and really represent and celebrate what those guys can do. So hopefully we can just keep pushing on from here and keep doing great things.
The Hog Stars are at it again. They are taking anything on trade. Old hogs, new hogs, even actual hogs. Don't own a hog? We will take whatever you have on trade. From boats to goats, you'll get top dollar for it. Bring your trade to Crystal Harley-Davidson today.
Hi, I'm attorney Dwayne Terry from Rubenstein Law, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 10, you have a right to safety. Many businesses have a duty to keep their properties safe from violence. This applies to apartments, shopping centers, and other businesses. They may have to provide appropriate lighting, secure windows, gates, as well as on-site security. At Rubenstein Law, we offer a free evaluation of your case if you or a loved one have been assaulted.
For all these rules and more, go to rubensteinlaw.com.
Check out the all-new BornToRide.com with radio, TV, industry, adventure, events, magazine, social media, and much more. It's the all-new BornToRide.com.
Hey, it's
Debbie with Born to Ride. Tune in every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. on the Boss Hogg Radio, a fast hour of good talk. Good biker talk, what you really want to hear.
Noah, I've known your dad from the wrestling days, the IWF wrestling. Before that, Randy Fuller from the Dynamite Express, man. What a great man your dad is. Beyond being a wrestler, he's just a great man. And so he came into my office. He goes, man, Ron, what's up? You got to hear my story about my son. And he told me about a journey. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And I was doing 100 other things. And so I finally got back involved in what the story was. And you were able to call me, and we must have talked for over an hour the other day about your journey, because it pulled me right in. Your story pulled me right in to where we're at today. And I want to just get right into the story. So you bought a brand new Harley in 2020. What, a Softail?
Yeah, I got a Softail Standard. I wanted to get a lowrider. I had so the first bike that I bought was a 2020 Grom, but I outgrew it. My dad told me the moment I told him, hey, look, I think I need a bigger bike. He co-signed on that bike, and he told me, look, if you're going to go trade it in, you're not getting anything but a Harley. So I said, sure. So I started looking, and, I mean, there were some other bikes that were a little bit pricier that really would have been the dream choice. But, man, especially going on the trip, that 8,000 miles that the bike held up, I've fallen in love with this bike, man. Me and this bike are one. I don't see myself ever getting rid of it.
And that bike's got a name, right?
Yeah, Lola. Lola
right.
is the girl.
So you left Georgia, you went through the Blue Ridge and found your way up to Sturgis, and you made the rally, but then you kept going after that. Your whole journey was over 8,000 miles in 30 days. I mean, let's talk about the journey, because you were with your mom, and actually you guys broke off and you went on your own, and you stayed in different people's places, and you're 19 years old. So that's what I thought was so cool. You're 19 years old, a young guy, and you got all the social media stuff going on. So Doc, tell us a little bit we're going to show pictures of your story, because you sent us some great photos. So let's hear it, man. What were you thinking?
Wait, how old are you, Noah?
I'm 19 at the moment. I'll be 20 here in October.
Okay, 19. All right, start the story. Here you go.
Yeah, so really, I mean, I was working. I had been doing construction for about the past 2 years, and I was in Tennessee living on my own. I had been there probably for about 4 months. And just working construction 48 hours a week, being a grunt, and having all these older guys yelling at me over just useless things, it was just wearing on me. And I didn't know what I was going to do, and luckily enough, I had the opportunity to reach out with my mom and her boyfriend, and they gave me the opportunity to move back to Georgia. But alongside of that, they gave me the opportunity to go with them on this trip. And, being 19 years old and hearing, hey, we're going to be gone for a month riding across the country. Do you want to go, I mean, I couldn't say no. Like, that's an opportunity of a lifetime. And then, so they literally within a couple days, they came up to Tennessee, got all my stuff, got the bike, and we all brought it down. And within 3 days of being back in Georgia, we were on the road, loaded up on the trip. And I mean, it's definitely something, especially with Ron, how you were saying, me being 19, it's like, I just don't see a lot of other. I mean, there are. I'm not discrediting the people that are out there, but it's sad to see that there's not as much of a spark going on. I mean, with people just getting out and going riding. And, I really want to try to spark that feeling in some people. Try to get them out there.
Yeah, and so tell me, man, how beautiful is America? I mean, you went through the Blue Ridge. Just tell me about your trip before you got to Sturgis, because you've never been to Sturgis before. You made the rally. So this is the 81st Sturgis rally. Tell me about the trip, the beauty of America, and some of the people you met along the way.
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you, before this trip, I'd never left the South. I had never been far west than Mississippi and never farther north than Virginia. So it's like, I told a friend of mine, actually, when I got back from the trip, I was like, man, when you go and see how truly beautiful our country is, and you hit these national parks and even these little no-name places that nobody knows about, and you find them along the route, it's like there's something almost, what I like to say, there's something spiritual about being on the back of that motorcycle and experiencing all these visuals and all these locations for the first time. And I mean, getting ready on the trip, I had the first few days of the trip, I had a little bit of anxiety just because of the seat that I've got on my bike and just things that were coming up, and then at a certain point I kind of just turned all that off and was like, man, just go, turn that throttle and let's go, let's hit a couple 100 miles. And then it all rolled on from there. And then once we got out of the Blue Ridge and got up to Michigan, that's when I really started meeting the people that I met across this trip and picking up all these stories, of just all these amazing people that I met along the way. And a big shout out to the website Bunk a Biker. It's Bunk a Biker. It's kind of all one word. It's a Facebook group and a website.
Tell me about that.
So you can go on there, and it's a map. You open up the map, and it's global. It's all over the world, but mainly right now it's in the U.S., but it'll show pins all over the map. And what the pins are is there's different colors for each individual, like what the reasons are. But it's anywhere from just somebody has a trailer and they've got a garage with a lift, and if you break down and you need somebody, you can call them and they'll come pick you up. And then it goes all the way from that to where I was staying with people where I was staying in their guest bedrooms and they were feeding me and giving me beer, and I'm like, dude, this is this is amazing. Like, the community and the people that, like, when they see somebody really trying to achieve their dreams and do something that not a lot of people have ever gotten to experience, just the support that comes behind that, especially in the biker community.
I mean, that's how close bikers are, It's sort of, a stranger welcomes you in their house because they're part of a group and you're part of a motorcycle community. How did that make you feel when you just rolled into a place after, riding thousands of miles or hundreds of miles that day, and now you had a nice, safe place?
Oh, dude, it was amazing because there was definitely moments, especially once I was on my own, where I was like, I didn't plan it out right. I didn't know that, like, at the end of the day, whenever I hit 300 or 400 miles and I ended up in Fort Worth or something, I didn't know where I was staying. So having the Bunk a Biker as a resource, man, like, you'd be surprised. There was a couple people I called 2 hours before I showed up to their house, and they were like, heck yeah, come on, man, we got everything. Have you already eaten? You wanna eat dinner with us? And it's like, wow, it really, and it's like, alongside that, I stayed with a guy in Denver, Colorado, and it's like my bike needed a new back tire. The back tire was gone, and I didn't know if I was going to find a place. It was on a weekend, and the Harley dealer didn't want to deal with it because they didn't have any tires, so I was calling all around, and then finally I get to the guy that I was staying with, and lucky enough, he's got the exact Dunlop tire I needed for my rear tire, and he sold it to me for $50. It's a $300 tire.
Wow.
So it's like, I was able to switch that tire out, and then after we were talking about my bike for a little bit, he goes, hold on just a second. And he walks into his house, and he had an older Dyna, and he comes out with this like $300 or $400 detachable windshield, like a quick detach windshield, and it clamps right onto my forks. And he goes, man, that looks pretty good. Why don't you take it with you? And I'll tell you one thing, man. I rode 4,500 miles with no windshield on my bike and a full face helmet. And the moment I threw on that windshield and I hit Texas, where all them fields are and how windy it gets, oh my gosh, did it save my life. I was texting him and calling him at every stop, thanking him for that windshield.
And you didn't have saddlebags or a windshield when you took off, so you're just like strapped down and no windshield.
Yeah.
What kind of experience was it when you hit Sturgis?
Oh man, and that was a wild thing for me because I was fortunate enough to also hit Daytona this past year. And when we got to Sturgis, we rode through the Badlands first, and we were staying in Grand Rapids, which is about 30 minutes away, just so it was a little bit cheaper. And we would ride out in the morning to Sturgis, but it was just...
Wait, Grand Rapids or Rapid City?
Rapid City.
Okay.
Rapid City there. So we stayed in Rapid City and we'd go out to Sturgis, but like riding through Badlands, it's like being a kid that was raised in the South. I spent most of my time in Georgia. I was in Florida for the past 3 years, like hitting spots like that, seeing these amazing rock formations and knowing that it's like, that's it for miles around. There's nothing but this national park. It's such a surreal experience, and it was just that way with every destination I hit, because every spot was a new place, a new journey, and a new story, so riding through Badlands and then we left through there a little bit in the afternoon, and we were going to stop right outside of Badlands and not really ride to Rapid City. And I told my mom and her boyfriend, I said, man, I don't want to stop riding. Let's go. We're almost there. Why stop now? So we kept riding, and we get to Sturgis, and we kind of bunked in the hotel for the night. And then first thing in the morning, I was up ready to go and hit that rally, man. I wanted to experience it, you know, from all the stories you hear, and especially being able to talk to all the other bikers that are there and see, like, what bikers rode, you know, because that's one thing I notice about these big rallies is you see so many people that got toy haulers and stuff, and they live a state away or something. They didn't ride. They just went to go camp, and then they pulled the bike out for the rally, you know. But being able to see all these other tags, like from Texas and North Carolina, Virginia, and you know these people ride because you can look at their bike and you can see just the miles on them, you know. And it was amazing getting to meet all these people. And then I went from Sturgis, I went over to Buffalo Chip and got to see Shinedown play. They were it was their 6th performance there, and it was like I knew who Shinedown was. I listened to their music, but it was like I didn't know that was who was playing. And the moment they came on stage, I lost it, man. And being in a crowd full of a couple thousand people and all these motorcycles, the guys are revving them to the rev limiters, man. It's just being able to experience something like that. It really, like I was telling a friend of mine when I got back from the trip, you know, it's like I'll be thinking about the stories and all these moments just from the month of August for the rest of my life, you know, because it was just really such a monumental experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
So Noah, when did you break off? Because you broke off from your crew, right? From your mom and her boyfriend?
Yeah. So
when did that happen?
So we were around 3,800 miles into the trip, maybe 4,000, and at the time I was like, for the few days leading up to us splitting off, I'd kind of been feeling this feeling in the back of my gut, just saying, man, why don't you just go on your own? Like, why don't you so you don't got to stop when they got to stop, you don't got to stay where they want to stay, just do your own thing. So I kind of proposed that idea to him. I was like, look, I've been on the road with y'all for 2 weeks now. I really feel confident in myself to be able to kind of survive it out on my own for the next 2 weeks. And they were all right with it. They were like, go ahead, man, you know what you're doing. And so we split off in Wyoming, because from Sturgis we rode into Wyoming up towards Yellowstone, but with all those fires out there, the weather was just so bad that we didn't really get to go into Yellowstone. So from there, from Wyoming, I just headed south towards Colorado, and that was really, once I hit Colorado, that was when I knew I was making my journey back home. I didn't know how long it would take or where I was going to stop, but I knew at least I had in destination in sight, you know. So it was really just it was a moment where I knew that I had to stick to it, and I had to wake up and put miles in every day so I could get back on time, you know.
Now, when did you start the Bunka Biker thing? Was that with your mom and them, or after they left?
Yeah, it was throughout the whole trip, really, because what we had done.
So they were crashing too?
Yeah, we started it in, the first one we stayed in was in North Carolina. I wish I could remember the guy's name. Awesome guy. He had a farm set up, and he had an old barn that he had fully refurbished upstairs that he lived in. And we get there, you know, and it's like, it's maybe 7:30 in the afternoon. He wasn't there. He was out with his girlfriend at a museum, and we get there, and we pull the bikes into the garage, and we see his motorcycle and everything. And then all of a sudden, we walk into where we're staying for the night, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this isn't where, this is somebody's house that we just walked in. And it's like, you know, it's his bedroom, it's his kitchen, he's got all his stuff there, and I'm like, this is not where we're staying. I feel like we're doing something wrong. And then all of a sudden, the guy shows up, and he goes, no. He said, look, y'all are on the road. He said, my house is y'all's house. He said, I'm sleeping in the camper tonight. And it's like, to be able to meet somebody that is just that generous, you know, especially whenever it's like, we called him the day before, you know, he could have been busy. He might not have wanted to have people over, and he could have just said, you know, maybe this weekend or today's not the right time for y'all to stop by. No, and that's the thing I noticed with all the people that I stayed with. It was like, and I tried not to, you know, like call people an hour, 2 hours before I showed up to where they lived, you know, but I mean, sometimes that's just what you got to do. But I never met one person that turned me away, man. It was always get here when you get here, and we'll see you when you just ride safe, you know.
That's really cool. Now, speaking of being righteous, you told me a story where you stopped when other bikers didn't, and you helped somebody out. Tell us that story, man, because it's powerful.
Yeah, man. So riding into Sturgis the first couple days there, a definite trend that I had seen was, like riding along the road, you don't get that wave, and that's one of the things I love about riding is that little wave. And the moment I noticed that, when the bikers stopped waving, I was like, man, there's just so many bikes here. This is weird. And then I was leaving Sturgis, coming back to the hotel, and I'm getting onto the interstate. I'm literally getting right on the ramp. And right off the side of the ramp, I see a trike, and it's broke down, and it's two women. And I'm like, in a split second, I thought in my head, I was like, what if that were me? So I hit my brakes, and I pulled over to the emergency lane. I'm probably 200 or 300 feet ahead. And I came running up, and the one lady's on the phone with Harley trying to talk about what part she's needing because the bike's broke down. And her friend that was on the back is off of the bike, and she's talking to me about how her and her friend are on this cross-country trip from Washington to Georgia, and how both of them recently, within the past year, had lost both their husbands, and they were just really down, and they didn't know what to do to kind of get them out of that rut. And somebody was fortunate enough to purchase they were riding a Ultra Glide trike, and so I got to talking with the lady for a little bit, just kind of talking about what their trip was about, what my trip was about. And then after a little while, the girl got off the phone with Harley, and she just looked distraught, man, like she knew something was wrong. And I was like, so what's up? And she goes, well, the part that I need is in Montana. And I was like, no. And I'm like, really? The part that you need is in Montana. They don't have a part anywhere closer.
A stock Harley and a part in Montana. Come on, guys.
I know. So I tell her, I'm like, well, let's go. There's the Black Hills Harley Davidson. It's only about 15 miles down the road. And so the girl that I was talking to hops on the back, and that was the first time I'd ridden anybody on this Harley. And I was kind of nervous, but, like, I'm a pretty good rider myself, and I've ridden other people on other bikes, so it wasn't anything shocking to me. I just didn't know how this bike rode with another person. And when we stopped at the Harley dealer and she got off, she kind of just gave me a big hug and was like, man, I love your motorcycle. She was like, this is a beautiful, comfortable motorcycle. And she just was kind of in disbelief that there was a 19-year-old kid halfway across the country from where he lives just helping out a random person, and it was just, and it was something that I knew in my chest when I saw them on the side of the road. It was just, what if that were me? So,
no, wait, didn't they tell you that a lot of bikers went by and kind of didn't even acknowledge them or pull over?
Yeah, man, they had been sitting there for about 30 minutes before I got there, and they were right off the interstate ramp. And I'm like, how? So I was very fortunate to be able to help them out like that. And then getting back and bringing the part back, because luckily enough they had the part that they needed at Black Hills Harley Davidson. We get there, and the other girl's nephew was there, and he's on a road glide. And within 5 minutes of us getting back with the part, he had it on, and they were ready to get on the road. And, I mean, at that point, we're on the side of the interstate. Things are kind of hectic, and there wasn't a good time to say goodbye. But that lady just came back to me again, and she gave me a big hug and wrapped me up and just told me to be safe and look out for the road ahead. And she knew that there was good things coming for me in my future. And then, luckily enough, I mean, karma is it's real. What you sow into others sows back into you, because the next day I was leaving Sturgis, downtown Sturgis, and I'm on a back road near Spearfish Canyon, and I had taken my helmet off for the minute, and I wear glasses, and without thinking, I looked back behind me to look for something, and when I did, my glasses just flew off, man. And I'm one of those people. I'm blind without my glasses.
I can feel you.
You didn't have a backup.
I can feel you.
You didn't have a backup.
Didn't have a backup.
Oh, shit.
I couldn't see where they were at. I didn't know if they were in the road and they got run up. Dude, I full-blown panic attack.
So what
for about
happened?
30 minutes. I'm sitting there on the side of the road, and I just gave up. I was like, man, I can't see. I can't do it. So I just sat down and put my head between my knees.
Oh, no.
I was distraught, man, because without those glasses, I knew this is it. I was like, this is one of the things that was going to derail this whole thing. And then, luckily enough, I mean, at like the same situation with those other girls, I was sitting there for 30 minutes, and 200 motorcycles must have rode by. And then, luckily enough, man, I see this group ride by, and they're all slowing down and looking at me, and it's probably about 6 or 7 people. And then I see them down the road making a big U-turn, and they all come back. And they all hop off their bikes, and they walk up, and they're like, man, what's going on? Do you need help? What's going on? And I let them know. I can't see. My glasses are gone. I just didn't know what to do. And at that point, I'm still kind of panicking. And I mean, man, within 2 minutes of telling them what my glasses look like, one of the guys, I hear him go, "Are these them?" And I look, and he brings them up to me, and they're fine, not a scratch, they're not broken. And I was just, oh, what a relief, man. And I was right back on the road.
That's the best day ever. It's bad when you lose your glasses because you can't see to find your glasses.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, I feel your pain.
So where was your journey from there? How did you get home, man? And you had to meet more people along the way. And I know you told me you did get pulled over by a couple of cops along the way, which is bad, but you don't have to go there. But tell me, we might ask you before the night's over, but tell me how you got home. What was the journey from there? What states did you go through? And tell me the difference in the states and the scenery and how beautiful America is.
Yeah, from the moment I left Wyoming, when I split off from the group, I went up to Sheridan, which is kind of north from where we were at. I kind of split off and went the opposite way. And then that next day that I woke up, I knew I was like, I got to get to Colorado, like by the end of the day. And so I looked up my GPS, and Denver was about, I think, like 430 miles away. And I know what I'm capable of. And I hopped on the back of that motorcycle and didn't stop, only for gas, man. And I rode from Casper, Wyoming, all the way to Cheyenne, Wyoming on one tank of gas. And I'm riding into Cheyenne, Wyoming on low, and I knew I was just running on fumes as I'm pulling into the gas station, you know. And then from there, I just worked my way south. I spent a few days in Colorado with a bunker biker there in Denver, and then I stayed a night in South Colorado at a campground there. And then I hit Texas, man. Texas is a spot I'd always wanted to be. So I rode through the top end of New Mexico, and then I rode into Amarillo and stayed with the entire time I was in Texas, I stayed with bunker bikers except for one camping spot when I was leaving.
Oh, wait. That's another thing. You told me that you brought something special on your bike, and it was a hammock. And what did you do with the hammock? You said you just pulled over and used it, right?
Yeah, man. If it got to that point where it was like I didn't have a hotel lined up or I couldn't find a campground or something, I'd find a state park or a public park and just park the bike, throw the hammock up, and wake up at 6 or 7 in the morning and get right back on the road, you know?
Yeah, that is such an incredible story, Noah. And I know your dad. Your dad's a great person, so you've got his DNA. And I tell you what, I was excited to tell your story, and I know we probably can't even tell it all in one episode, but yeah. So you got the hammock, you're sleeping, you're helping people, you're biker bunking. You're 19 years old. I mean, what are you thinking when you're riding all by yourself on the highway? I know you got music. You told me you had a bunch of music in there, but when it was just you, the motorcycle, and America, what were you thinking then?
Dude, I'll tell you, especially, you know, there's moments like in Wyoming and in Texas where you're in these spots where the next town's 30, 40 miles away, and that town, the population is 500, and there's nothing there. There might be a gas station, there might not, you know, so you got to really play your cards right with time and how you get gas. But there's just something about when you're riding on these straight open plains and you can't see anything but nature for miles, and there's no other cars out there, and it really just is you, the motorcycle, and the road. Man, it was just, and it's like you asked what was I thinking, and honestly I wasn't, and it was the greatest thing. It was just like I was in a state of just meditation. It was just me, the motorcycle, and the road. I had no thoughts on my mind. I was just I was free, man. I was free.
Fester, what do you think, man? What a
journey. Listen to him describe it, and I can only envision. I mean, I guess you'd have to have a sense of just the immense landscape that you're driving through, and just how big this country is. I mean.
Yeah, and that's the main thing that, like, when I tell people, especially people that are, like, in my family, when I got back from the trip and I was kind of explaining to them, I'm like, I really explained it to them like this. I'm like, look, I could tell you as many stories as I've got, and I could show you all the pictures that I took, but it ain't going to mean nothing until you go there and you experience it, because it's breathtaking. Like the Badlands, how we were saying, it's like Mars on Earth. And then you go to Custer State Park over in South Dakota, and you go through Needles Highway and Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse, and it's like it's truly incredible being able to see America, especially on the back of a motorcycle. It's one thing doing it on a road trip, but when you're on the back of a motorcycle, man, it really is nothing but freedom.
Texas is a big state too.
Wait, is Noah?
Oh man,
I feel like I'm talking to like a 70-year-old guy that's been alive on this earth for 70 years.
And that's the amazing thing. Here's this 19-year-old that already has experienced this. Okay, there's myself. Okay, I have not yet been able to, and that's one of my bucket list things is to ride from Florida to Sturgis. Okay, and back and. Here's this 19-year-old that was afforded this opportunity, took advantage of it. I mean, and that's awesome. It's just simply awesome.
You're a Renaissance man at 19. What's so cool is you found your way, and that's how bikers for centuries, though, have been doing that. Just finding your way,
freedom,
the path, least resistance, and just making friends and everything along the way. That's and you did it. You did it, and you experienced it. That was super cool.
Well, I got to make an announcement, though. Noah is going to be a part of Born to Ride because we're going to bring him into our YouTube channels, and we're going to help him with his Instagram. By the way, what's your Instagram address if people want to check out more of your videos?
So my Instagram address, it's kind of funny. It's Fuller, my last name, and then SHGT. And, I mean, you can kind of imagine what that sounds like, but it's Fuller SHGT. Or JT, not G, J.
So FULLER
SHJT.
SHJT.
Well, Noah.
Oh,
Noah, let's get together, man. I can't thank you enough for sharing your story. We want you to be a part of Born to Ride, man, because I love your passion, and your demographic of the younger bikers is what everybody's looking for, even Harley Davidson, and I just think we have some great things ahead, and I just want to thank you, man. We'll check back in the next day or two. We'll get on track with our next assignments. All right?
Heck yeah.
Any last words?
Well, that's something I thought about last night. And really, all I can say, man, is you just got to get out there and ride, man. There's not enough people that really ride like it's their lifestyle. I mean, there are a lot of people, but there are a lot of people out there that got bikes that are 20 years old with 5,000 miles on them, So it's like,
all right,
anytime
brother,
you get that itch, get on that bike, All
right, let's touch base in, and like you said, ride that bike. But what Joe would say is, Born to Ride. Born to Ride. Yeah, we love you, Joe. We miss you, brother. And we thank you, Noah.
Thanks, Noah.
All right, thanks, Noah.
Okay.
Sunday night, 11 p.m. Tune in to Born to Ride TV Magazine on Facebook for a full hour special of Born to Ride TV. Brought to you by Rubenstein Law, the most powerful law firm in the state with 12 offices to fight for you. That's Sunday night, 11 p.m. 1 hour Born to Ride TV special on Facebook.
Seattle Engraving Center, the masters of gun customization, featuring incredible detailed engraving, 24-karat gold plating, diamonds, gems, murals, amazing gold accents, first-class quality, 100% satisfaction. More bang for your buck from their showroom. Raise money for your charity with a one-of-a-kind prize. Seattle Engraving. You dream it, they will create it.
Is your business becoming invisible? Create a great advertising relationship today with Born to Ride.